Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
I watched a lot of the Oilers and Leafs, Darren, and I don't know where you and Clark stand on that game, but I believe that the Oilers skated circles around them. What did it get out to? 3-0, I think, in the first period?
Bingo!
The Oilers barely broke a sweat. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with the Leafs last night. And again, you're out in PEI, so it was a very late start for you, but I'm sure you've done some investigating. What happened at Rodgers' place last night?
Oilers were the better team last night. As simple as that.
By far.
And they're a very good hockey team. Now the Leafs have made some moves, and you need some time to gel with a little bit of what's going on. But this has always been a big type of rivalry now, East versus West. Oilers versus Leafs, Matthews versus McDavid, who's better, all of that. The fan bases hate each other now. It's become a really good rivalry in the NHL. Far much more, like when the Leafs go into Calgary, it's not going to be nearly the same atmosphere. I mean, you'll have a lot of Leaf fans, but I've been in those games in Edmonton. I mean, it's Oilers versus Leafs. It's 50-50 fans. It is like a playoff series. And typically, these are the games you get. I've been to games where the Leafs skate circles around the Oilers, and the Oilers skate circles around the Leafs. But they were the better team last night, that's for sure.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I was fascinated last week that Jerry was pounding Egg McMuffins like it was his job and dousing them with salt because he didn't care because he's 80.
How about that?
So what better, shrimp cocktail or Egg McMuffin? Don't waste our time. It's Egg McMuffin all day. And don't get me started about those puny little cocktail rings that you buy. They're disgusting. Egg McMuffin's good anywhere.
That's right.
It's the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Hi, everybody. Happy Football Friday, and welcome to your favorite daytime sports talk show. We're coming at you live on Game Plus Television Network, YouTube, and as I just found out, we are live on WQEE. Noonan, Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Hello, Ryan O'Radio is written in. Says Football Friday with King Rod and the Moose, a.k.a. Top Gun. Let's bring him in from the Canada Winter Games in beautiful Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island. What town are you in? Did you say Charlottetown, Summerside? Where are you hanging your hat, Moose? Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful part of the world. People are geeked up, ready to go. And Nick, the very first comment that came in has one regarding the next one, Connor Bedard, and we're going to get to that. It's a Football Friday, of course, but we're a little bit all over the place. We're going to talk a lot of football today. Shawn Lemon in hour one. More hockey in hour two. No, sorry. Shawn Lemon in hour... I screwed this up again. Shawn Lemon in hour one. And in hour two, Rich Sutter. We all know him. And Marc Moser, the television voice of the Colorado Avalanche. So for the football fans, it's mostly hour one. But we're going to open with hockey. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please? Director Jordan. And let's go. I'm not as out of it as it seems, but it is Friday, and I'm ready for the weekend. Again, hour one, Shawn Lemon of the BC Lions. And then hour two, Moose will be gone. Marc Moser, the television voice of the Colorado Avalanche, and then our favorite of the Sutter clan. And he is, by the way, I don't care if the rest of them hear it, Rich Sutter. We're going to open with leftovers, Moose. Hey, when there are two Canadian teams, it's exciting. Calle Jarnkrok scored the game winner early in the third period, and the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Calgary Flames 2-1 in the Saddle Dome. After Jacob Markstrom stopped Morgan Riley on a breakaway, Jarnkrok was able to score off the rebound. Mitch Marner scored the other for Toronto, while Blake Coleman had Calgary's lone marker. Can I just say this? Again, we're not going to be like every other sports show out there trying to tell you how much we know and how stuffy we are. I was driving home from the Florida Panthers game last night, and by the way, they sucked on Star Wars night. But I was listening to Joe Bowen on my NHL app, had it streamed through the car dash. And ladies and gentlemen in Toronto, not like you don't know this and all the Leafs fans, but you have an absolute beauty in Joe Bowen. He's calling the game, and he's a throwback, man. He's like the John Lynch, the Rod Phillips, the Peter Mars. He is a throwback, Darren. I don't even know what to say other than all he cares about is the Leafs. And that's fine. You can call him a homer, and he wouldn't care. And as you recall, the Flames goal was shorthanded. I was listening to it. He's like, here are the Leafs. Fifth overall on the power play. And here come the Flames, and they score. The Flames. I'm like, who? Joe, who? Didn't care because he didn't play for Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's mad that the Leafs gave up a shorty. They don't make him like that anymore, Joe Bowen. They don't, Moose.
Holy Mackinac. Yeah, that's Joe Bowen. And he is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at about 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on Twitter, we found out that Trish Stratus was going to be at the Maple Leafs game. And so Joe Bowen sent out a tweet
I'm sure he's
saying,
a big
Trish
fan.
Stratus is here tonight. Trish, you've got an invitation to come up to the broadcast booth during the game, he said. And the comments on that tweet were just celebrating Joe Bowen for shooting his shot at Trish Stratus prior to the game. So he's awesome. He's a legend.
What he is, man, and it's not like everybody in Toronto doesn't know, but I'd like to throw out my thing that he's just amazing. I like the old school guys. Jack is watching from Vulcan, Alberta. He says, happy birthday to my friend Bo Levi Mitchell. My friend, too, of course, and I see that he's celebrating it in the Bahamas. Believe it or not, Bo Levi, the quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and I are Facebook friends. So I saw that he is down in the Bahamas, which is about 55 miles from me right here. I don't think I'm going to be going to Bo's birthday party. Another note, and here's the thing with the NHL trade deadline. It is today. Again, not going to pretend that we know we're experts or anything, but the Dallas Stars acquired forward Max Domi and goalie Dylan Wells from the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for goaltender Anton Khudobin and a 2025 second-round draft pick. The former Saskatoon Blade, right? Anton Khudobin. The addition of Domi gives Dallas another veteran forward as it angles for playoff positioning. The Stars are on top of the Western Conference, 1 point ahead of the Vegas Golden Knights. It brings up the poll question today. Who's winning the NHL trade deadline? There's a lot of teams that could make a case for this. We kicked this around for at least 60 seconds today and came up with these options. Joe Bowen's Toronto Maple Leafs. The New Jersey Devils, because Clark feels they got the number one fish in the trade pool. Timo Meier. The New York Rangers, which obviously Patrick Kane, who was highly coveted, and the other things the Rangers have done, or other. I guess I'm going to throw out the Leafs. We're going to spend far more time on this next hour. I should tell you the Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center brings you the poll question daily, as well as, Universal Collision Center. Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. I'll say Toronto because they've made the most. I don't see Timo Meier much because he plays in San Jose, but for whatever reason, I've seen Ryan O'Reilly a lot. He's done a lot. I think the Leafs got the best player. So, and they looked good last night. So, I'll say Toronto. You?
I get behind that with Toronto. I'm going to say the Rangers, just because you go back to Tarasenko coming in earlier and now Patrick Kane. I think they really told their fan base that they're all in and they're taking a run here. They've got good goaltending. They've got Vezina caliber goaltending, and they can challenge now. So I'm going to say the Rangers, but I like what the Leafs have done as well. I think they're right there, and Ryan O'Reilly has had a big impact on that group. So it's going to be fun, man, and that's why we were going back and forth. The other is going to be a big one. I like the Bruins. They didn't make big splashy trades, but they made a couple little moves that have really added to that group. And maybe the best thing that they've done is not really disrupted the core that's trying to set an NHL record. So they'd be in the conversation.
Yeah, folks, by the way, that are watching on YouTube, tell all your friends the RP show's live. Share our tweets and our streams, and let's get it going on this Football Friday because I'm down with talking about really anything here. We're going to move on to football here right now. But I will say this. I was talking to Rich Sutter on the phone this morning. Hour 2 is going to be way more hockey. And I just said, do you think Boston needed to do what they did? And he's like, no. I said, no, me either. So we'll talk about that. I said, what about Florida? Have they done anything? And he's like, they can't. We'll explain all of that and shout out to the Panthers fans Had some come up to me last night at FLA Live Arena. They love this show because we're the only ones talking hockey this time of day in America. That is a fact, Jack. Point 2, place line, Atlanta. Jalen Carter's next step in his attempts to preserve his status as a top prospect in next month's NFL draft will be Georgia's Pro Day on March 15th, where he's expected to participate in workouts in front of coaches and general managers. I bring this up because we talked about it yesterday. The NFL Combine's on. Everybody's talking about this. Jalen Carter, a defensive tackle who played a big role in the Georgia Bulldogs' back-to-back national championships, has been widely projected as a top pick in this spring's NFL draft, maybe even number 1 overall. However, his draft outlook was potentially clouded by misdemeanor charges of racing and reckless driving in relation to the January 15th crash that killed teammate Devin Willock and a Georgia recruiting staffer, Chandler LaCroix. The crash happened just hours after the Natty. The Bulldogs won the national championship. So as was planned before him being charged this week, formally, Carter has only observed workouts at the Combine, but he went to Indianapolis and he's been being interviewed by NFL general managers and scouts. So let me just say this before we move on to Aaron Rodgers. Again, you probably didn't spend more than 2 seconds, Darren, thinking about whether you draft him or not. But I wonder now if the cancel culture mob or fear of the cancel culture mob is what's got him not participating anymore in the workouts. What do you think?
Yeah, there's an absolutely good possibility of that. I think if he's there and he's going through the interview process, if I'm a general manager now in the National Football League, I'm more interested in the interview than I am in what you do in the Combine on the field. I mean, we want to know what your measurables are, but there's pro days for that. There's more film now than ever. The games are all broadcast and available. So I don't need to bring all these recruits into one space anymore for the Combine to know what I'm getting. It's about, can you perform under pressure? Maybe. But the interview, that's what I'm worried about. And so if he's willing to do the interview, then he's got nothing to hide. Or he shouldn't have anything to hide if he's willing to do it. If he does have something to hide, he should have stayed home altogether. So I like it. I like that he's there. The GMs will get a really good idea of what they're getting with this guy. And I think that's going to go a long way to getting him drafted as opposed to canceled.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is where news intersects with life. Like if you're charged with a crime, you're still allowed to go to work. Once I got into the recovery work and you started dealing with people that committed crimes while under the influence, DUIs, that kind of thing, you're still allowed to go to work. So pro football players, pro athletes are still employees, right? So this is where it gets really, really ugly. Hey, Bill Edwards writes in, he and his brother caught both Leaf games in Alberta this week, texting into the 902 line. He says, we're headed east, watching as we go. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Drive safely, please. Stephen in North Dakota writes in, he says, greetings and hallucinations from sunny plus 30 Donnybrook, North Dakota. That's plus 30 Fahrenheit. He says, is Aaron Rodgers holding Green Bay hostage akin to Darian Durant getting paid up front $80,000 in the CFL and retiring, sticking it to the team? Well, nice foreshadowing by Stephen in North Dakota, because we're moving on to the Aaron Rodgers situation here, which I'm mad at myself that we're even doing it, but it is a topic. Place line, Green Bay, Wisconsin. A place that sounds nice, and I have zero interest in going. Aaron Rodgers says he will make a decision on his future soon enough, as the 4-time NFL MVP quarterback ponders whether to play next season and if his future remains with the Green Bay Packers. The 39-year-old Rodgers discussed his future while speaking on an episode of the Aubrey Marcus podcast that was released this week. He spent much of the hour-and-a-half conversation describing his recent isolation retreat, in which he said he spent 4 days alone in a dark room. The podcast was released one day after Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst was asked about Rodgers and said that they, quote, haven't had the conversations that we need to have yet. The Packers GM indicated he hoped the decision would be made by the start of free agency March 15th, but he also said he believes 2020 first-round pick Jordan Love is ready to be an NFL starting quarterback. He's backed up Rodgers the past 3 seasons. Rodgers is due about $59.5 million if he plays. But I know tens of millions if he's cut. Rodgers said, quote, "For everyone involved, directly and indirectly, it's best for a decision earlier." Darren, what do you think's taking him so long?
I think he's seen this play out before a little bit with Brett Favre, right? The retire, not retire, go around, play in different teams. He's watched what Tom Brady did going from New England to Tampa Bay and winning. So that's kind of in your mind. I think he's trying to make a careful decision because he's a little eccentric. He's a little out there, but he thinks differently. He has a big world view, but he's also really loved in Green Bay. And I don't think he really just wants to throw that away without really carefully thinking about this. You only got one shot at it. You only got one life. So I think he's just being thorough and diligent. And, I don't blame him for that.
I get a real kick out of the fact that people are lobbing crap at him that he went on the 4-day retreat to Oregon to be in a dark room. And it wasn't 4 entire days, but it was a good chunk of 4 days. And it's basically those sensory deprivation chambers that used to be so popular. Remember that? People are laughing at Aaron Rodgers. What he's done here very clearly is taken his power back. And to be honest, I don't have a problem with what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Let's make that clear. What I have a problem with is people talking about it every damn day because it's a disservice to all the other sports that are playing. That's all.
Yeah.
And we've already, I'm, again, mad at myself that we've spent this much time on it. But I think Tom Brady, look what he's doing. 18 months he's going to wait before he goes back to work and get in the broadcast booth with Fox. I bet you Tom Brady's called Aaron Rodgers and said, "Hey, so that room, what's it like? You got a number for me? Who do I call?" Probably sounds pretty good right about now to take off for 4 days and be in a dark room if you're Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of guys,
big time.
You get to a certain age, would like to do that. Point 4, Brad Gushue is set to begin his Brier defense at the Brier in London, Ontario today. His Newfoundland foursome will take on Jacques Gauthier. He's from BC. Figure that one out. Jacques Gauthier is from BC. He's playing Brad Gushue in draw 1. Gushue's team won a national title, Olympic bronze, and world championship silver last year. We got less than a minute. I'm going to fire a couple quick things at you. This is just going to keep everybody in after the break. Well, a few things. Number 5, Connor Bedard plays the Winnipeg Ice tonight. I'm sorry, Regina Pats fans. That's what it is. It's on TSN. All week long, NHL Network's been running an ad in the bottom right of their screen. Bedard on ice Friday versus Winnipeg. Had a buddy text me today, don't want to say from where. He just said, "Hey, the game's nowhere near sold out. What's the deal?" I'm like, in the most Regina thing ever, we're not going. It's on TV. Why would we go? It's on TSN. And now you know why junior teams don't want their games televised. Hey, we'll talk about that when we come back. Number 2, NLL Week 14 opens tonight. Game of the week, Buffalo at Halifax. It's on TSN. But on Saturday, it's the very first ever outdoor game in the history of the National Lacrosse League. It's in San Diego's Snapdragon Stadium. The what? San Diego Seals are hosting Las Vegas. I saw some photos of the stadium. I'm like, dang, I'd like to be there. And point 6B is Darrell Walker signing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and we'll talk about that. One of the biggest names in the CFL, certainly from the receiving position. They're building something there in Sask, certainly with the receivers. So we'll get into all that when we come back. It is a Football Friday. We're live on Game Plus Television, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE, The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Your favorite sports talk show is on the air, daytime or otherwise. And let's bring Darren Moose Dupont, and let's sprinkle in some comments from the viewers before we go any further, which is kind of what we'll do. Maybe I feel it. Let's start audience takeover early. Let's call it Overreaction Friday. We got to all the topics already, Moose. I had like 7 or 8 of them. Dan, watching in Saskatoon, says Jacques Gauthier's mom is Kathy Gauthier from TSN's curling coverage. I'd hate to be a broadcaster covering my kid. That's just an unwinnable thing. That's an unwinnable thing. Or coaching your kid, whatever, I think is just a no-win. And to be honest, the father-son tandem that I think's pulled it off the best is Derek Keenan of the Saskatchewan Rush, coach and general manager, and his son Ryan Keenan. Taking him number 1 overall, and the kid's had a great flourishing career. I believe he has in the NLL. It doesn't usually go that well. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says regarding Aaron Rodgers and what I said I get it, and I don't blame him for what he's doing. Jennifer, who is a Packers fan, says, come on now. Rodgers is a weird cat. Is he? Define weird. I know quite a few, 2 guys that I know really well that played with him, John Ryan and Torrey Gurley. They both love him. Torrey specifically has told me some things about Aaron Rodgers where the teammate, he's never done anything bad at all. So he's got the team by the short and curly ones right now. Who wouldn't want to do that if you could? And Torrey's locker was right beside Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron did some things where Torrey would literally, Torrey, you've met him. He pulled Aaron Rodgers aside. He's like, dude, are you okay? And Aaron's like, I'm great. Let's be honest. The conversation that have been had about me and my life in the last year and a half. I've had people pull me and say, dude, are you okay? What's it look like? Well, it looks like you're living your best life. I am. So stop asking if I've lost my mind. Here's Aaron Rodgers. What do you want him to do? Again, what do you think is holding up his decision? You kind of gave me your answer, but give it. I just think you said it. He doesn't know whether he wants to come back to Green Bay or not. It's as simple as it is. I don't know what's going to push him into making the decision, but he's got all the cards. He's got them all, and he knows it, and I think he's just enjoying it.
We see this all the time. The thing that makes people think he's crazy, he's having a midlife crisis, he's weird, is people doing things that everybody else isn't doing, right? I mean, not every, 60-year-old buys a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson. So we think that's a little weird and we ask if they're okay, right? Most NFL players, big, macho, tough NFL players, aren't going to go into a dark room and go on a darkness retreat and, home and all the rest. Aaron Rodgers is doing it differently. Doesn't mean it's wrong or, weird is not the right word, but he's doing it differently. And this is a big life-changing decision for him. He's an icon, a legend, a Hall of Famer, all for one organization. Once you start bouncing around, you got to think about your legacy could be tarnished. You got to think about what's next for that. You have to think about where you're going to end up. Do you still have the best chance to win? Is your lifestyle going to be the same? And being a Hall of Famer and a legend, he's never played in a big market. So I also understand the appeal of an LA or a Miami or, even going to Denver because he's a mountain guy and, likes that kind of thing and whatever else. He's not going to go to Denver now. But anyways, I can see why he would do this. So take all the time you need. And the Packers are fine with Jordan Love. It's not like they need to go into the quarterback pool here.
My mind, the reason I was smiling is as you went on that 60-second monologue, well done, by the way, my mind went zing, 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 zing. And when I when I see John Ryan next, I'll be calling him Bunchy from Ray Donovan. Hey, Bunchy. I think he'll get it. He looks exactly like Bunchy on Ray Donovan. John Ryan does. But trust me, I know, with a few trips around the sun, a few more than you, if anybody sees something that's different, it freaks them out. It scares them.
Right.
You're not doing what everybody else does. That's right. You should try it. And not many will. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I'd call Rodgers eccentric. Yeah, but that's because he's won 4 MVPs in a Super Bowl. This is Darren's line. If he was your buddy, you'd think he's lost his mind and have him committed and fitted for a straitjacket. But because he's Aaron Rodgers, you think he's eccentric. Correct?
That's right. You think he's eccentric.
That's your line.
And the end of the story always ends, too, that once you have the conversation with him and say, what's going on here? Are you okay? He says, man, I am fine. I am at peace. This is what I'm doing.
I know.
You always sit back and say, okay, I get it. Good for you. I wish I had the courage to do that. I wish I had the foresight to do that, But from the outside, without hearing the story or talking to the person, we just instantly go to, this guy's crazy. Oh, he's having a mental breakdown. Oh, he's losing it. And in fact, it's the complete opposite. He's finding himself. He's actually taking time to think about the situation as opposed to just reacting to money or media.
Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, I think the word Moose is searching for is unique in lieu of weird. Is that a fact?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It is the Rod Pedersen show, so I'll just say this. This is how I would equate what Aaron Rodgers is doing to similar to my life. Everybody wondered, what the hell? You just went down to Florida. What? And this last fall, I'd been gone about a year. I got trapped in that blizzard, that snowstorm, remember, when I was in Saskatchewan, and I stayed at my brother's for a couple of days, and he called all our family over, and my uncle Gary, who's a farmer if there ever was one, to quote my mom, he goes, you don't get snowstorms like this in Florida. And I'm like, no, we don't. He's like, well, just wanted to see the whites of your eyes. You're good? I'm like, I'm great. Really good. But thanks for asking. So I get it. Jack in Vulcan, Alberta says, Rod and Darren, the best 1-2 punch in sports today. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you. From John in Edmonton, Aaron Rodgers is hating that the media and fans are calling him a drama queen. Nah, I don't really think he cares. He actually said, if you have a problem with what I'm doing, tune me out. He said that this week. I'm not saying that, by the way. Don't tune me out. That would be bad. John says, by the way, since it's Football Friday, how do you think the Edmonton Elks can get out of the $18 million red ink? 3 letters, W-I-N.
How about that?
Maybe try winning.
Bob's your uncle.
Why do they think this is so bloody hard, Darren? Why do people not understand?
I don't know. Like, it's not that difficult. Win some football games. More people are going to show up. And when more people show up, they spend more money.
They haven't won a football game since the Trump administration.
Oh.
And you want to know why they're millions in the red. Jeez. Cole in BC says if you watch him on McAfee, you know he really doesn't care about what people think of him. Dude, if we could all get to that point, and I'm getting there. I'm a lot further down the road, but I'm not totally there yet. But it's great where it is now. Hey, by the way, you had some thoughts on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, when I heard Darrell Walker sign in Sask, I literally laughed. JT says if Trevor Harris and Darrell Walker get on the same page on the field of play, that would be dynamic playmaking. So let's talk about that. You said in our morning meeting that you wanted to discuss Saskatchewan signing Darrell Walker. So what it is?
Yeah, I think it's really intriguing. And maybe you might know this off the top of your head, or Clark's got to go to the big board to find out, which were the seasons that Darrell Walker and Trevor Harris played together in Edmonton when Trevor Harris was the quarterback. Because I think the 2016 season was Mike Riley, and that was the
2021, Clark says.
Because 2019, he had a big year, too. 1,000 yards in 2019, 1,500 yards in 2016. But there was some chemistry there with Andrew Harris and Darrell Walker. And for whatever reason, Darrell Walker's coming off, well, I say a down year. He still had 875 yards or something like that this past year. This is intriguing for Saskatchewan. Now Trevor Harris has got guys he's played with, he's comfortable with. They're starting to round things out a little bit. We're still not sure about the offensive line and the defensive line. But this team that we were kind of puzzled by and thought, where are they going? What are they doing? At least on the field, there's some intrigue here that, okay, they might have something. Off the field, we don't know. But on the field, this group is going to have my attention. And I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to look like when the season starts.
I looked it up. I went to the big board, not on what your question was with Trevor Harris. Maybe if you're going to drop us something like that, Moose, give us a little warning, huh? Here is the last seasons for Darrell Walker in yardage. 874 yards last year on a bad Edmonton team. Year before that, 531 with another bad Edmonton team. In Toronto, 2019, 1,040. In Edmonton, 2018, 875. The year before that, 634. And then in 2016, he had 1,589 yards. So I get that's what Jeff the Stamps fan saying. He's been paid based on stats from 7 years ago. That's what Jeff the Stamps fan's saying. But, hey, the Riders are used to, I would think by now, the criticism. Every football team, every football person's used to the criticism, and they say, we'll do our talking on the field. Does it feel like it's getting close to you, or do you feel like it's a real long ways away?
I still feel like it's a ways away, the season. I mean, we're looking at March, and I mean, I'm not even thinking about training camp right now. We got to have NHL playoffs. There's all kinds of other things to me that seem to jump in front of this. So no, I'm not thinking about it yet. But things like this, moves like this, kind of get me excited again for sure.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says regarding what I say the Edmonton Elks need to do is win. Jeff, the Stamps fan, said, is winning enough? In most cities, Jeff, yes. In Calgary, clearly not. I don't know. And I say that with all due respect to the Calgary Stampeders because I love those guys, but you can't win more than them. And their stadium's almost empty. So I would think in Edmonton it would help. John Kirby in Edmonton says, do you think the stadium in Edmonton is in a wrong location? What are we going to do about that, John? It's been there since 1977. Oh, my God, we put it in the wrong place.
Oh, no.
We only led the CFL in attendance for 30 years, but now it's in the wrong place. Yeah, let's blame the stadium. These people are driving me nuts today, Moose.
But that's the answer. You just said it. Like, look at John. We're going to have a talk. Are you going to say something to somebody like the mayor's office or council? No. Are you going to move the stadium? No. Then stop worrying about it because all it's doing is making you upset for nothing. Unless you're going to do something about it.
It's like Arizona. Look at the Coyotes. I'm sick of sports executives pointing fingers. It's never going to end. Woosah. Aaron, you got room in that room with you? Arizona's a terrible hockey community. Yeah, nobody's been worse than you since 2010, Coyotes. Nobody. But yeah, let's blame the fans.
Oh, but Rod, the stadium should be in Glendale. And then it's in Glendale. Well, no, it should be in Scottsdale. No, it should be in Tempe.
Can't even fill a 5,000-seat rink. Okay, Moose, you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You guys too.
Shawn Lemon's in next. The Lemonator. It's a Football Friday on Game Plus Television, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hi, my name is Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be here with you on this Football Friday. In this business, it's great to be anywhere. And hello, shout out BC Lions fans watching on TELUS Channel 924 in the beautiful province of British Columbia, Alberta 2, same channel 924. We're going to talk some CFL now with one of our good friends, Shawn Lemon, the Lemonator, CFL All-Star, joining us. The newest BC Lion. Looks like, well, how about this? Two guys in Florida talking CFL football. How you doing, Lemonator?
I'm doing fine. Who's in Florida?
I am. Where are you?
Oh, okay, you're in Florida. No, I'm in California. I'm in Palm Springs.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, spending that big signing bonus as a member of the BC Lions or what? What takes you down there?
No, I'm down here actually with the CFLPA at our AGM meetings. We decided to have it down here this year. And, so we're just meeting and trying to make our league better for the players.
Shawn, as you know, I say this with the utmost respect. I was going to read off your football resume, but the show's only 2 hours long. You didn't want to stay in Calgary another year, eh? You wanted to move again?
No.
Tell me what went into the BC Lions.
It was a better opportunity for me in BC. I felt like there was some talks I would have loved to stay in Calgary, but they wanted to go in a different direction as well. And this was the best fit for me going forward. I love what BC's doing. I love what RP's doing over there. I got a coach in, Coach Bowman, who's he was an active player. He's a Hall of Fame player when I was still playing, so I know everything about him and his skill set as well. So, and playing for Coach Rick, I played for him in 2013 and 2015. So I'm just excited for the opportunity there.
Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. You would know Jack. Jack Fulton. He says, shout out to Shawn Lemon. I love this guy. I call him the Lemonator. If I'd have known, I could have met up with you. I was in Palm Desert. I guess let's just get into it a little more. You guys had a great season with Calgary. You had one of the best seasons of your life, and then you moved to the BC Lions. Is there some excitement there in terms of chip on your shoulder stuff? Because people think the Lions are going to be junk without Nathan Rourke. I might be one of them. What's the outlook of that football team right now without Air Canada?
Oh, the roster is a really good roster. It's a really good roster. They went to the West Final last year. I love the receiving core. Like I said, I love the defense. I feel like with the addition of myself on that defense, I feel like it's going to be, more explosive, better pass rush. I have really, in my opinion, I have the best secondary in the league. So when you throw a pass rusher like myself on with the already good D-line. I feel like it's only going to be better. So I really like the roster in BC.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He says, great year in Calgary last year, Mr. Lemon. So did you get any messages from Stamps fans that were sorry to see you go? I'm sorry to not be able to move on from this, Shawn, but you had a hell of a year.
Right.
Fans tend to get used to that.
I appreciate it. I enjoy my time in Calgary. Coach Huff, I call him Coach Huff. Coach Huff, he's my coach in 2013, 2014. He's been nothing but amazing. Coach Dave has been nothing but amazing. Coach Munson's been incredible. I have nothing, bad to say about Calgary. That's business. The thing is in life is we all have free will. Like, I'm not, just because they don't owe me anything. They didn't owe me a contract to be back in Calgary. So, it is what it is. I enjoyed my time there.
Right. You certainly look at it the right way. Back to those BC Lions, just peel that back a little bit. You said you like the roster. Ryan Phillips is the defensive coordinator there, is he not?
Yes, he is, yeah.
What do you like about what he's done? I feel like it wasn't that long ago he was playing. What is it about his defense that you like?
Just the energy that he brings. And you can tell that the players are really excited to play for him, just watching it from a TV perspective. He's really, really smart. He understands coverages. And, I feel like they had the best secondary in the league, honestly. So, with myself and the skill set that I bring after getting to the quarterback, why wouldn't you want to play with the best secondary in the league? So I'm really, really excited about, the opportunity there.
Well, as you probably know, we air across all of Canada, all 10 provinces on Game Plus TV, 31 U.S. states. And for those that are new, maybe to Shawn Lemon, maybe you've played in every single league imaginable. What I'm getting at is the XFL, there's guys going there. Brett Boyko just signed there yesterday, former CFL offensive lineman. You've gone against him. Did you take a look at those leagues, Shawn, or are you sort of a case of I've been there, done that?
Oh, not at all. No, I'm, I like to say I'm working on my a Hall of Fame career in the CFL. So just trying to, I love playing in this league. This is the league for me. It wasn't, the other leagues reached out for me to come there, but that's not even a thought in my mind. I love Canada. I love playing in Canada. It's the only league that I take seriously.
Wow, good for you. Well, that'll be very popular to go with CFL fans there. You might want to consider politics when you're done, Shawn. Hey, well, I was going to ask you what you think of the quality of XFL play, but you kind of just answered
it. It's good.
It's good. Watching the last
for opportunity it's good for opportunity for a lot of young guys coming out of college who are uncertain about what they want in their career. But if you're looking for more of a farm league type of developmental USFL, XFL, but if you're looking to make a career in a league that's not going to go anywhere, it's only going to get better year to year, it's Canada. So it's all about what you want perspective-wise. I would say if I was 23 years old coming out of college, the thing that's pounded in your mind is I want to make it to the NFL. I want to make it to the NFL. You don't know what that opportunity brings in Canada. And I was a kid that came up to Canada at 23, and I fell in love with the Canadian Football League. So it's just perspective and what you want out of life as a player and as a person. And, this is, what I love. I love playing football in Canada. So, like I said, there's no reason for me to entertain any other thing.
And a wonderful country, too. Well, regarding that Hall of Fame thing, I would suggest you've already got that. I used to know the mechanism of how, it worked to get inducted, but that's all changed. I don't think it matters. You're a Hall of Famer no matter how you slice it. Listen, enjoy the rest of your time. I appreciate you fitting us in today, Shawn. We'll talk soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me. I love being on the show. I'm super, super proud of you, Rod. You've been, every year you've been progressing the show, and guys been doing amazing things. And like I said, I'm really proud of you. Just keep going, buddy. Anytime you want me on the show, I'm always available for you.
Same to you, Shawn. Same to you, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot.
Future Hall of Famer, and I mean that. The Lemonator, Shawn Lemon, checking in from CFL Players Association meetings in Palm Desert. Why aren't we there, guys? We'll be right back with, a sports update and audience comments. Get them in now, football-wise, because next hour, the television voice of the Colorado Avalanche, Marc Moser, is going to be with us, and Rich Sutter to talk about NHL trade deadline day today. We'll be right back live on Game Plus TV, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and WQEE, The Key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We don't have a lot of time in this segment. I want to read some of the viewer comments. And again, more hockey, pretty much all hockey next hour, regarding our interview with Shawn Lemon from our friend Kevin the Medium watching in Airdrie, Alberta. Love this guy. That's from Kevin. From Ted and Red Deer. Man, CFL, do you hear this man? Get him in front of the mic more. A couple things about Shawn Lemon in that. Number one, marketable guy, yes, he should be out doing interviews. For whatever reason, he's not more visible, or the other players that are outspoken like that, whatever. The TSN spot that will be being kept warm is for Bo Levi Mitchell, not Shawn Lemon. Now, if we had 2 TV networks broadcasting CFL games, or Curses, 3, there'd be jobs for all kinds of analysts and all kinds of announcers. There'd be all kinds of variety. But no. Woosa. Walk it back, Rod. No, TSN saved the CFL. There would be no CFL without TSN. Okay. Things are great. Now, the other thing with Shawn Lemon, I've been on teams with Shawn twice, and I like him a lot. I think he's like me. I think you see the namaste that was going on between the two of us. The light in me recognizes the light in him. We're very similar people. We wear people out. We're intense. So that's probably why he moves on seemingly every season from teams. I don't know him that well, but I know him and Chris Jones clashed in Sask, and he had to go. And then was it later that year or the next year, we're playing with Sask in Toronto, and those two clashed again on the sidelines. Because for whatever reason at BMO Field in Toronto, they think it's a good idea to have both teams on the same sidelines. I know Americans. It's a Canadian thing. But anyways, Lemon's coming off the field. He's yelling at Chris Jones. Jones yells back, gives him that, and I'm like, I'm in the booth calling it. There's very few things that I miss about calling play-by-play. That's one. But here's the thing. It happens so rarely anymore. Whatever. We're going to wait 3 years for it to happen again? One of the last Pats games, like 2 weeks ago, I was at Pats and Medicine Hat Tigers. This is hilarious because everybody knows I leave the games early. Halfway through the first period, I got NHL scouts texting me, "Are you still here?" Yeah, boys, it's halfway through the first period. I don't leave that early. But I left with 9 minutes to go in the third. End of the game, people are texting me, "Oh, you missed the big fireworks at the end of the game." I'm like, was there a brawl? No, the coaches were yelling at each other. Ooh. So what? What came of it? Nothing? That's what I thought. So far rather be broadcasting a daily talk show from South Florida and going to the games that I want, and it just ain't like it used to be. Stop with the NHL talk. How many times I got to tell you it's next hour, okay? God, some people are really, like I said, they're annoying me today, Moose. Sports update, the Edmonton Oilers look to build some momentum when they host the reeling Winnipeg Jets tonight in NHL play. Edmonton coming off a dominant 5-2 win over the Leafs Wednesday. Winnipeg is on a 4-game slide. The Montreal Canadiens play the second of a back-to-back when they visit the Anaheim Ducks. 30 seconds. I guess we're cutting the sports update short. It's for 80 for Brady in theaters now for Landmark Cinemas. It's inspired by the true story of 4 besties living life to the fullest when they take a wild trip to the 2017 Super Bowl to see Tom Brady. Check it out, 80 for Brady this weekend. And we'll see you after this brief pause on Game Plus and WQEE.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
She could be cool.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for 25, 3 for 60, or 10 for 100, but there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
I was fascinated last week that Jerry was pounding Egg McMuffins like it was his job and dousing them with salt because he didn't care because he's 80.
How about that?
So what better, shrimp cocktail or Egg McMuffin? Don't waste our time. It's Egg McMuffin all day. And don't get me started about those puny little cocktail rings that you buy. They're disgusting. Egg McMuffin's good anywhere. That's right.
It's the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome into hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. I found a way to walk it back in life. So I was getting a little heated, more so because of certain members of our audience in hour 1, but I'm good now. I'm sure the Moose, if he's still watching, and he always does watch, even when he's not on, was probably a little worried. Because by Friday, I'm ready for Friday. You know what I mean? And it's Friday. It's Football Friday. And we talked a lot of ball in hour 1, a lot about Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I get him. Shawn Lemon of the BC Lions, and that was great. A little bit of XFL. It's going to be a lot of hockey coming up. But I want to say, you heard the clip, the intro there. I was talking about Jerry Jones and his daily diet of Egg McMuffins. Like you would think, if you listen to the experts, if you ate enough of those, it would kill you. Jerry's 79 and still going strong. And I want to say, shout out to the seniors, because we got that ratings thing. I was telling you this. The boys in the control room, the Millennium Falcon back in the Queen City would know what I'm talking about. Yes, our ratings increased 300% from January 2022 to January 2023. But what we didn't tell you was various breakdowns of it. And I've been in these ratings meetings for decades. Radio, television. Hang on, Clark. You're yelling in my ear. Sorry. I'm just can't have that. Anyways, they said, guys, you own the 55-plus market. The Rod Pedersen Show, you own it. The only television program the seniors are watching across Canada is the Rod Pedersen Show on Game Plus TV. So I just want to say thank you, and I hope you are enjoying what we bring you every day. Okay, thank you. Well, listen, I was going to jump in. There have been 40 trades so far leading up to NHL trade deadline today. Marc Moser, the television voice of the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche, joins us today. Hey, I've been on the air, Mark, for over an hour. What have I missed? Can you give me a Friday update, brother?
Well, you know, Rod, to be honest with you, the Avs just hit the ice right now. And, you know, I know we're sitting 2 hours away from the deadline, but I'm not sure that I anticipate anything else going down. The usual suspects are out there on the ice. Val Nichushkin is not skating this morning, Rod. You know, he's the kind of guy now with the injuries he's had. He takes some skates off, and the Avs will hit the road to Dallas today. And one thing that does concern me, there is no Josh Manson. You know, he went out with an injury a couple of nights ago against the New Jersey Devils. And so for him, who battled an injury between early December and all the way into February, for him not to be out there, it's a little concerning to me. So I don't know the extent of really what's going on. That's why I'm over here at practice. But I guess we'll find out here in about 2 hours.
Well, trust me, I won't keep you long, but can you please, Mark, take me back to 1 year ago and what the Avs did and how it paid off, just to refresh everybody's memories and how important this day is or this week?
Yeah, they did the deal for Josh Manson, obviously, coming over from the Ducks because they felt like they needed, Rod, you know, that extra big defenseman, you know, a guy who not only is a good skater and can move the puck, but a guy who's going to be big and physical on the back end. And that was the key that they learned from the year before against the Vegas Golden Knights. And then, you know, you look at the addition of a guy like Andrew Cogliano, and this team doesn't make these decisions lightly. I mean, the guy has to not only be a player and a guy who can contribute to the team, but he has to be a guy that fits inside that room. So that was also a key with both those players. And then, of course, they also did the deal for Arturi Lehkonen, who played major minutes and played majorly well for this Avalanche squad in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So they did 3 deals really last year leading up and at the deadline that proved pivotal to this Avalanche team going on their run to the Stanley Cup championship and going 16-4 in the postseason. I mean, it's, Rod, almost one of these historical type of runs. I mean, they lost 4 times and won 16 times, and these guys were major components. So they did a lot of good things last year. I don't think they have as much flexibility to do things this year, although they did acquire Lars Eller. He is out there on the ice, but 2 hours away, I guess you never know, and I think it has to depend on the long-term health of some of the guys who are out right now.
Two last questions. To this year's team now, clearly you've rounded into form. Can you talk about the Avalanche 1 year later and what they got going on here lately?
I think the best part for them right now, Rod, the thing that they're going to rely on is that experience that they had. And you hear the Zam behind me. They're starting to Zamboni this sheet over here. But the fact of the matter is that this team, and listen, injuries, they're not an excuse, but they are a factor. And so you must address them. They've had difficulties with guys in and out of the lineup all season long. And, of course, we know the captain, Gabe Landeskog, hasn't played at all this season. So they're trying to find their footing here. They're trying to string together wins there. But what I noticed really before the All-Star break and the bye week and then after is that this team, not only do they know where they need to get to as a team and the level of play that they need to be at, but they also know how to get there. It's not just one thing, okay, we know where we need to be, but what do we do? They know how to get there, and they certainly have shown that. Cale Makar is on the ice today. That's going to be a big addition back for this club, but they know what the situation is. They know how, they've sort of bounced around this year in and out of the postseason and then in the wild card. Well, they've won 6 out of the last 7 games, so now they control their own destiny for the top spot inside the Central Division. And I think that's something they're shooting for with that big game against Dallas coming up tomorrow. And it's just an experienced group. They may still be relatively young in terms of age, but in terms of playoff experience now and National Hockey League knowledge, these guys are all super veterans, and the coach definitely trusts his players and what they're going to bring on a nightly basis.
Last one, a fun one. Just tuned in, the TV voice of the Avalanche, Marc Moser, is with us. Listen, we all see your highlights on the network shows, and they're awesome. But I do a lot of driving, Mark, and I was listening to Avalanche radio the other day, and I'm like, whoa, this guy's got the voice of God. I looked him up. He's like 19. He's a kid. Connor McGahey. Tell me something about the radio voice of the Colorado Avalanche, please.
You know, he's super good, obviously, Rod, and super animated. He is 38, believe it or not. I mean, maybe he's doubled 19, but he's a young-looking guy. He's done a fantastic job. When I moved over to the television side some 5-6 years ago, he came in and he was already familiar with the franchise. He had done many things for Altitude and for the Avalanche themselves in the arena and so on and so forth, and then went to work for the Vegas Golden Knights. So he's exciting. If anybody can't ever watch, if you're an Avalanche fan, you can't watch on television, definitely check out the radio call, because he's like a lot of us. You live it on a nightly basis, right? And I think the key, especially to a radio broadcast, is you want the audience to be able to envision what's going out there on the ice, and you need to bring that passion, because if you don't, they will have no idea what this team is all about. So he does a very, very good job of that, bringing his own passion. Just like all of us, we all get excited about things. For me, sometimes a little bit too much over the top, but he's absolutely great. In fact, he's looking good in his suit. I look like it's a day off for me because it is, Rod. Tomorrow will be on national television down here in the States. Connor's in his best suit, and he'll be on his way to Dallas here after the skate is going.
Well, you can't be over the top, and I'll say Avalanche fans are very spoiled with their broadcasters. Mark, thanks for fitting us in. Good luck in the drive here.
My pleasure, Rod. Great to talk to you again. Thanks so much.
The television voice of the Colorado Avalanche, Marc Moser. And as you see, he's no slouch. That's not to say anything against him. But I was driving, where the hell was I? Around Weyburn. And I got my NHL radio on, and I'm listening. I drive a lot. Whether it's South Florida, Sask, Alberta. And it's the Avalanche. And I'll look at the radio. You know when you have that moment, you look at the radio? A voice of God. In the day, it's Connor McGahey, the in-stadium announcer of the Denver Broncos, and your radio voice of the Colorado Avalanche. So that's why I say, Avs fans, you're very spoiled. And I think, well, for sure, McGahey's from Colorado, and I think Marc Moser might, too. It's always nice to have local guys. Or it used to be. On this NHL trade deadline day, Rich Sutter coming up next, by the way, from Hockey Headquarters. Here's the Newswire story that moved this morning. NHL general manager swung a boatload of deals ahead of Friday's trade deadline. Teams made more than 40 swaps, including most of the big names available in the weeks leading up to the league's cutoff, which is 3 p.m. Eastern today. After the dust following a wild socket up, needs addressed, and franchise icons say goodbye. That could set the stage for an anticlimactic, underwhelming main event, which is today's trade deadline. A reclamation project and a couple of depths moves got the ball rolling Friday morning. The Detroit Red Wings traded winger Jakub Vrana to the St. Louis Blues. The Pittsburgh Penguins reacquired center Nick Bonino from the San Jose Sharks, and the Vancouver Canucks shipped forward Curtis Lazar to the New Jersey Devils. Their relative calm was in stark contrast to the last few weeks as GMs across the NHL made a flurry of trades. Those blockbusters included Patrick Kane going to Chicago Blackhawks, to the New York Rangers, Vladimir Tarasenko leaving St. Louis for the same landing spot, and Ryan O'Reilly joining the Toronto Maple Leafs. Surprise moves saw Jacob Chychrun head to the Ottawa Senators from the Arizona Coyotes, while Jonathan Quick was dealt away from the LA Kings before eventually ending up with the Vegas Golden Knights. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. Visualize a positive outcome.
Beautiful.
Wonderful chat with Marc Moser there, by the way, and Clark, good work getting him on, because he had just explained how Joe Sakic won his team the Stanley Cup 1 year ago today, getting Josh Manson, or leading up to the trade deadline anyways, getting Arturi Lehkonen. I see the viewer comments are coming in. Hang on a second. I might push those to the next segment with Rich Sutter, or maybe we will now get to them. We'll see. Listen. I get how important the trade deadline is because I've been part of many, but it's very hard. Like, have you not got a headache from this? Or just that, the last few days? Just the speculation. Here's the problem. A lot of the nuggets end up being true. Shortly after that trade, Jonathan Quick going to Columbus, people said he'll never play a game there. They had him ticketed for Toronto or Vegas. He ends up in Vegas, and all of a sudden, whoa. Listen, we got to ask Rich Sutter this. You and me together, let's write it down. Do you actually think the LA Kings thought when they traded Jonathan Quick away that he would come back and end up in the same division? There's no way. Yeah. Landry writes, and he says, Columbus legend, Jonathan Quick. Yeah, no kidding, right? They'll probably have a video tribute for him when he comes back to play. Rob Scott's watching in British Columbia. He says, got to give a shout out to Melville Sask. Only place I've ever been to in Sask. Home of Terry Poole, the Houston Astros great, and Tim Shovelday. Ron Hextall, too, I believe. Oh, I apologize, Landry. I missed your comment. He says, Mark, big Avs fan here from Montana. Shout out to the great work you do. I'll say it again. Those guys, those Avalanche fans are very spoiled with Connor McGahey. Listen, you think Marc Moser's voice is deep. It's great. This kid, it's like 3 octaves deeper. Okay. Aaron in Edmonton says, should the Oilers have traded for Quick? Ryan in Toronto says, Rod, if you could choose any NHL coach to pair with Connor Bedard, who would it be? Ted in Red Deer says, RP's on a roll today. Keep rolling, Rod. One guy is suspended for the day, and I'm not even going to tell you who it is. But he's suspended. Because his comments have been ridiculous. And you won't even know who it is, so I'm not telling you who it is. But when we come back, fire all your hockey questions. Rich Sutter will be with us for 2 full segments. 13-year NHL veteran scout, player, obviously, broadcaster, too. Rich Sutter joins us from the bridge right after this on this NHL Trade Deadline Day. Your home for NHL Trade Deadline coverage is the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Hey, yes, the studio is in South Florida today. It's a steamy one, but a beautiful one. It was so much fun being at the hockey game last night. Not fun for the Florida Panthers fans. However, they lost 2-1 to the Nashville Predators in a game they could ill afford to lose. Rich Sutter joining us shortly. We had him lined up, I believe. He knew. And Clark's talking to him right now. So let's have some fun before he joins us on this Overreaction Friday, this Football Friday. I said I suspended somebody today. We're not reading his comments anymore. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, no, it's not me who's suspended for the day. No, you're right. It's not you. Regarding us owning the 55-plus age demographic across Canada and moving into America for this time slot on live television. Maybe radio too, Rhino Radio? What's the rating say down in Noonan, Georgia, where we're on the blowtorch, WQE? Jack in Vulcan, Alberta says 55-plus are RP show super fans because we're old school Don Cherry supporters, as are we here. Speaking about listening to NHL radio last night, coming home from the Panthers game, I was listening to the Leafs broadcast with Joe Bone, and I talked about that off the top with Darren DuPont. I'm like, this guy's old school and doesn't care if you call him a homer. You know what? I used to care too much about what people said when I was doing play-by-play, literally thousands of games. But at least now I don't care what anybody thinks. Back then it bothered me so much. Joe Bone don't care. Flames scored shorthanded a couple minutes into the game. I had no idea who scored. Didn't matter because he wasn't a Leaf. If you're listening to Joe Bowen on TSN 1050, I get it. I was the same. Whole lot less caring. Makes you a whole lot happier. Ask Aaron Rodgers. Okay, and I'll just say this. We were talking about Jacob Chikrin. I was talking to his dad last night. Jeff Chikrin, we had big fun. Bill Lindsay, Randy Moller, they all say hi. Okay. Rich Sutter's with us, and folks, please write in with your questions on this NHL trade deadline for Rich. He joins us from Lethbridge. Rich, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. Man, I don't know where to start other than you said it on the phone this morning. Wildest trade deadline lead up ever. This is insane.
It's since the Bo Horvat trade on January 30th, Rod, it's been almost daily. I think there's been 42 trades counting this morning. So it's a wild time. It's kind of unprecedented times, to be quite honest with you, in the NHL. It seems now more than ever, especially the last 3-4 years, we seem to think that this gets crazier each year, and there seems to be more people that can win it each year. And I think we're looking at something right now more than ever that this is what we're getting.
if people could have just listened into our phone conversation this morning, because I'll ask you now what I asked you then. Do you think the GMs from years past are thinking, why did we wait so long? Why did we go right to the deadline? Why didn't we start it earlier? Because that seems to be the new trend.
Well, you have seen this happen in junior hockey, especially in the Western Hockey League the last few years, where teams have made their deals well ahead of the deadline. And I think another thing that is added to this at the NHL level is that you're seeing a lot of first round picks being moved. You're seeing a lot of other round picks being moved. Is that future considerations to a degree? Yes, it is. But I think what you're learning now is with these first round picks, Rod, is that even with the draft being as strong as it is this year, it's not necessarily that these first round picks are the 2023 draft. But what you're seeing is that teams are not afraid now as much as they used to be to let their first round pick go, especially in the back part of the first round. I think when you're seeing other higher first round picks that are being moved, they're trade protected, meaning because the draft is strong this year, that teams are protecting that trade unnecessarily or necessarily to a degree this year that could be bumped to the following year. So there's a lot of things that are going on that it's wild. I think it's been fascinating. Just when you think when there's another crazy trade, and there are some guys out there that are, I think, that are very enticing to some teams. You look at maybe, for example, I just say Brock Besser in Vancouver as one guy. But then you think, well, something's not going to happen, and bang, something happens. So it's crazy. It's crazy times.
I appreciate you coming on to talk about it. And the viewers are like a bucket horse trying to get out of the stall here. They got a million questions for you. But maybe my last one is, do you think the LA Kings actually thought when they traded Jonathan Quick to Columbus that he would end up right back in their own division against their top rival? Do you think they saw that coming?
No, they didn't. You can look at it a couple of different ways. How does that look on Columbus, what they've done, or how does that look on LA right now? I think, here's a guy the guy's an icon. The guy should have a statue outside the damn rink in Crypto.com Arena in LA, and he may not want one there anymore after how, here's a guy that was traded and there was really no conversation or dialogue with him leading up to this trade. You think that would have not been warranted, Rod, is what this guy's done for that organization? Would they do that to Anze Kopitar? I would hope not. I certainly didn't think they would do it to Jonathan Quick. And he ends up back in the same conference with the team they're fighting for, not just for a playoff spot, but a high seed in the playoffs. So I hope Jonathan Quick goes in there and his lights out, to be quite honest with you. It can be short term. It can be, maybe he can add another year to his career in Vegas, but I do think they need some help there. I think it's a great trade for Vegas. I hope Jonathan Quick goes in there and is unreal for them.
The LA Kings got McCrimmon, a term popularized in the 1990s in the Western Hockey League. I'm very familiar with it. So, to the questions from the viewers, Rob in BC says, Rich, can you explain the Vancouver Canucks dumpster fire in less than 10,000 words?
Oh, my Lord. How's that to start with?
How about that?
I'm trying to figure out what are they trying to do there, to be quite honest with you. I think there's a lot of teams that are trying to figure that out. What are they trying to accomplish there? They're getting picks in return. They're getting assets. What are they going to do with them? That's been the burning question. And I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here. I wonder if they even know at times, to be quite frankly with you. There's been a lot of odd things that have gone on in that organization the last 12 to 14 months, and it doesn't seem to stop.
Landry says, Rich, if all teams were at full strength, who would your favorite be to come out of the West right now?
Well, I don't think there's any question who that would be. They're getting healthy, and they're starting to show why they are who they are, and that's the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. I can't fathom that. I think it's almost hysterical to think that there were people out there in the media sector that even up till about 2 or 3 weeks ago were wondering what was going to happen to the Colorado Avalanche. Well, I think the coach of the Calgary Flames put it quite clearly, quite bluntly, correctly, is that, well, just wait till they get healthy. I mean, they're getting healthy, and they're going to be right where they think they're going to be at the start of the year, where everyone should have had them, and that is either at the top or near the top of the Western Conference. So I think they're still the team to beat. Look, they're still going to get Landeskog back. If it was a playoffs, Kel McCarr would be playing. They're giving them all the rest they can right now. Look, they're a team that I think they could benefit with. Maybe, it sounds like Francouz might be still hurt. Could they get another goalie in the next 24 hours? Who knows? Or by the end of the day, even for that matter, the way things are going on right now. But I just think they're a team. They're a team that they're deep. They've added to their trade to their roster with Lars Eller, who I think is a tremendous bottom six guy, all-purpose, all-utility player. Face-off, second power play, PK. That's a huge pickup for them. I think it's going to be a good asset for them, and just another guy add to a stocked roster.
13-year NHL veteran Rich Sutter with us, broadcaster scout as well. Kirk in Calgary says, hey, Rich, do you think that the Flames will make any kind of move before the deadline?
I'm surprised they haven't yet. Look, I'm a Luke Schenn fan. I'm surprised that it took a third-round pick to get him out of Vancouver. Is that a little bit high? Maybe not, but I think he would have been a perfect fit for them on the right-hand side. Third pairing guy, which is what he is. PK guy. If something was ever to happen to Chris Tanev, he's a guy who could step in and play some other minutes. But I'm a little bit surprised to this point that they have not been able to do anything or haven't to this point.
Question from me. I got to ask you about the Winnipeg Jets. Do you see them? They've lost 4 in a row going into Edmonton tonight. Do you see them turning it around?
Well, I hope so. For their sake, for Kevin's. It's not that Kevin's job's on the line or anything like that, and I think that shouldn't even be a question mark that I've heard around the last few days. But look, I'm sure they're trying. Kevin's a smart man. He's not a guy that's just going to lay in the weeds and not do his homework. I'm sure they're working the phones. I hope they can get it figured out. But again, there's a team that, if you're a Calgary Flames fan, that is all of a sudden in your sights, because they're the team that's now nearly on the outside looking in, and they're a team that Calgary's got to just win hockey games and beat who's ever in front of them right now. They're at a point where they can't afford to be losing games, especially with what they got coming up the rest of this week with Minnesota twice.
Rich is going to be with us for one more segment, so hang on, Ted and Red Deer. I'll get to your question, maybe not here. Did you know the NHL trade deadline is brought to you by OFX, the official currency exchange company of the National Hockey League? Did you know that, Rich?
Yes, I do. And that's awesome. I think that it's great to see that OFX is on board with that, and great advertising for the company.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. I've heard from Brian and Richard since the All-Star week, so I just wanted to throw that in there. So here's the question. By the way, Rich Sutter's the official spokesperson, ambassador for OFX. So nobody would know in Canada, but here I see your ugly mug rolling all the time on NHL Network.
That's where we want to know is who's up here too, right?
Okay, well, we got to get some ads going on Game Plus Television. That's what we got to do. Ted in Red Deer says, hey, Rich, Sutter hockey philosophy to me is, quote, maximizing talent through hard work, determination, and teamwork. Playing, scouting, or coaching. Am I out in left field, or do you agree?
I agree. I think the biggest thing is also you got to let these guys, to a degree, utilize their skill sets and their talents, and I think that's one thing that is easy to figure out these days. But the bottom line is, it still has to be done within structure and within purpose, and having to answer not just to your structure of your what your coaches want, but working well with your teammates. So I 100% buy into that.
Boston, they've got 3 new players in their lineup, right? Hathaway, is it Orpik?
Orlov.
Whatever it is. Yeah, Orlov. Sorry, not Brooks Orpik. 3 players they've introduced into their dressing room. How do you feel about that, given a team that was already on pace for the best regular season in NHL history?
I just say, wow. Now they had Tyler Bertuzzi. They're deep. They're a team that's ready to run with it, take a run at this thing. You can say all you want about how strong their regular season's been. Quickest team to 100 points. Whatever they've done and up to this point has been great. It's what they do from here on in with that group. It's no different what you see in Toronto, what they've done. It's like everybody's lineup. I think they've got the team to win it. We'll see, because once the playoffs start, everyone starts at the start of the line, and they go from there. So it doesn't matter what happens in the regular season. The pressure's on these guys to produce and come through once crunch time starts.
Ryan in Toronto says, always a treat when Rich Sutter is on. This is great. I agree, Ryan. In a minute, does that give you enough time to talk about what the Leafs have done?
Yeah, I was surprised how poorly they played in Edmonton the other night, given they did have a couple of days to practice and work some kinks out. But they sure rebounded last night. They juggled around 3 lines, kept 1 line in place, and it seemed to work for them. They get some key saves. They get some lucky bounces when Calgary was up 1-0, where it could have been 2 or 3-0. I still think that, look, they've got a heck of a group there. They're deeper than ever. 1 through 4 on the front end in terms of lines, and 1 through 3 in terms of pairings on the back end. I still think at the end of the day, the question mark still is in net. Can Samsonov be the guy? What are they going to do with Matt Murray? Is he going to be the guy also? I think there's still questions that need to be answered there.
One more segment with Rich Sutter coming up, the official ambassador of OFX, the official currency exchange company of the National Hockey League, and presenters of the NHL trade deadline. We'll be right back after this brief pause on Game Plus TV, iHeartRadio, YouTube Live, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult, because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah, on this Friday, which my goal was to have fun, and we've accomplished that on today's program. I just want to mention Alex watching in the Game Plus control room in downtown Toronto. He's upping the show there. Alex, I'll get to your question next segment regarding the RP show being #1 in the age demographic of 55 plus across the country.
How about that?
We own it. We were told from the ratings that were given to us. Bruce is watching in Regina. He says, a decade of experience in the 55-plus audience and happy to be here. Thank you, Bruce. We're happy to have you. And as we bring Rich Sutter back in, our NHL analyst, Rich, the boys here in South Florida wanted me to say, hey, Randy Moeller, Jeff Chikrin, Bill Lindsay, all last night were at the game. Big Rich Sutter fans, those guys. And they wanted to know if you had fun at the NHL All-Star Week down here with OFX.
You know, it was awesome. It was, first of all, it was just great to get down there and amazing to see the amount of the alumni people in the Fort Lauderdale area, the amount of people that are engaged in helping with youth sports and particularly hockey. These guys are great guys. They're giving back to the community in the area down there, involved in the minor hockey stuff. With separate different teams. Look, there's a lot of enthusiasm down. There's a lot of knowledge in these guys, and it would be really cool if they can keep this going down there. And I would gently nudge them along that with their knowledge and their expertise and willing to give back. That hopefully in South Florida we're going to see in short time. Just what the St. Louis Minor Hockey Association has done with kicking out players. I really believe that there's going to be some players coming out of South Florida in the next few years as well. If these guys keep doing what they're doing and get the support that they're needed with the new rinks that are coming up in the area, it's awesome.
It's so awesome, and it's so positive. Our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, who's winning the NHL trade deadline? Our options are Toronto, New Jersey, New York Rangers, or other. Other is leading with 31%. There have been some write-in votes for Boston. When we say who's leading trade deadline, I guess, Rich, the question should be who's the favorite to win the Stanley Cup coming out of all of this, with what we know now. How would you answer that or vote for?
Look, teams have done their diligence. They've filled what they felt were their needs or holes. in their rosters to help them, give them the best chance of moving forward. It's just not about winning 4 rounds. It's about getting through the first round and who you think you might be playing against first. And there's a lot of variables that go in when you're making these trades about how do you fill these holes with certain people and why do you fill them with those individuals. Been in a lot of these deadline days over my career, and I think a lot of the teams have done a hell of a job. And it's just a matter of now you hope for health moving forward. At the end of the day, your goaltending is good too. That the guys are stopping pucks, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a crazy ride here the last month of the year.
Well, just before you were on, the voice of the Colorado Avalanche was on, Marc Moser, the TV voice, and he said last year they got Josh Manson and Arturi Lehkonen. It basically really won them the Stanley Cup. Those were key guys in the drive. Like, will teams win a Stanley Cup based on what they do this week, or was that done in free agency or at the draft table or all of the above?
Most of the trades are done at this time of the year by teams that are making the biggest splashes, or even the little shrewd ones that are ones that they feel they're going to get them over the hump. They're not making these deals if they don't feel that they've got themselves in a position to make something happen. Some teams are legit, to be honest with you. Some teams are just trying to win a round or two to prove to their fan base that, look, we've got something moving forward here to build on. But I think what you've seen from some of the big ones with the Rangers, the Leafs, the Bruins, look, I think everyone's lined up to try and beat the Bruins at this point. Because they are the team out east, but I think they're also trying to figure out, especially out west, what are we doing that we can knock out Colorado, because they've got to be the team that are of choice that as the favorite.
Regina Pats home to the Winnipeg Ice tonight on TSN and NHL Network. I say that because Connor Bedard was this topic of a question here earlier from Ryan in Toronto. He said, which coach would partner best for Connor Bedard, or who would be the best coach for him? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think every coach in the National Hockey League is great. That's how they got there, Rich. But is there somebody, the top, bottom 6, 7, 8, that might be the best coach for him ahead of the others?
I think there's a whole lot of coaches that are in those bottom tier group of the NHL today that could be possible candidates, especially in the bottom 4 or 5. That are strong coaches and have strong staffs and are very wary and are very knowledgeable about where this is going to go if they get that pick, and how they're going to work to create to make the best for Connor. And it's just not about the coaches. It's about surrounding them with the right individuals in that locker room as well. Teams are smart. They know how to do it.
The wind's getting up on me here in South Florida. Rich, did you see that? I almost got tackled by the backdrop here. And I never did get around to showing you the place. Yeah, you did. You did. How about that for live television? Next time you come down, you'll see the humble abode here. But just on Connor Bedard, you've seen enough junior hockey. Do you think the Pats could surprise anybody in the playoffs?
As long as you got Connor Bedard and you got a goaltender that can maybe give you some saves, I think I think Regina has gotten better the last month or so. Are they a dark horse? I don't know if they're a dark horse, but I think that as long as you got Connor Bedard and you've got some of the other individuals that are strong players on their group, it's junior hockey. It's young players. You steal a game early, goaltender makes some saves for you. There's a little bit of panic mode happening in the other locker room. Yes, I think anything is possible. Would I bet on it? Probably not, but I still think that anything is possible. It's fascinating to watch, just not how he's played, but I'm more inclined to watch just not the score sheet every night and see how he's getting his 2 or 3 or 4 points and see the highlights. But I like to go to the bottom of the summary page and see how full the buildings are wherever he's been, because they've been just that everywhere.
Oh, it's not just me, eh? Okay, I do the same thing, and I think I'm just a dork that way. Well, the game's not sold out tonight in Regina. Come on, Regina, sell it out, and we'll be watching NHL Network down here. Richie, thanks for this. Enjoy the trade deadline, and we'll just do it again soon. Yeah, what do you got?
I want to do a quick plug. I'm on a podcast now, Rod, on Spotify and Apple. Suds, Dino, and the Dogfather. Listen to us every Wednesday night. It's awesome. I'm loving it, and I'm enjoying it. And it's all about golf and hockey and sometimes other sports.
Who are you with?
Dean Sprittle and Dale Vallely, a professional golf caddy on the PGA Tour.
Wow. All right. Suds, the Dogfather, and what? Say it again.
Suds, Dino, and the Dogfather.
Okay.
How about that?
Apple and Spotify. All right, Rich, for sure. Glad you're having fun with it, man. Enjoy the hockey this weekend.
Awesome. Talk soon. Thanks, Rod.
The best NHL analyst going, Rich Sutter. We'll be right back answering all of your questions in overtime after this. We're on the Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, iHeartRadio, and your Southern Home of Sports and Talk, WQEE, the key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for 25, 3 for 60, or 10 for 100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right. Hope you are all ready for a fantastic weekend. A lot of fun things going on. I had such a busy morning that I did not have time to write down all of what's going on tonight in terms of our junior leagues, so forth and such. This wind, man. I know you feel so bad for me. It's 27 degrees Celsius.
Oh, no.
Above. I know. The breeze is actually nice. But it's kind of sneaking in behind the old backdrop here, and I might be flattened before the end of the show, so be tuned in for that. NHL tonight, Seattle at Columbus. Clark, is it just me, or have the Kraken done nothing? Yeah, nothing. Nor the Florida Panthers. And I meant to ask Rich about that, but basically he said they can't. Let's just leave it at that. Jets at Oilers, very clearly that's the game of the night. Carolina at Arizona, Montreal at Anaheim. Like every time Montreal plays, that could be the game of the night. New Jersey at Vegas. Ooh, that's a biggie too. Golden Knights going to be here on Tuesday. Game 3 of a 7-game homestand for your Florida Panthers. Spring training baseball this afternoon. Blue Jays up against Tampa Bay and the Houston Astros against Atlanta. I didn't write down the NBA. I didn't write down the NLL. But I know that it's Buffalo at Halifax tonight, the featured game to open Week 14 in the NLL. So on that baseball vein there, Alex, I appreciate you, Alex. Where have you been? He works in the Game Plus TV control room, and he's written into the 902 line, and he says, "Afternoon, Rod. I really wanted to ask you about your thoughts on the World Baseball Classic, but thought the Leafs may be a better topic. How do you like the new-looking Leafs? Too many moves or not enough?" Were you off this week, Alex? We addressed that with Scott Laughlin. Yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, Clark, right? With Scott Laughlin of NHL Radio. We both agree it was too many moves by the Leafs. However, doesn't mean that they're not talented. And Kyle Dubas, I would think, has a better pulse of what's going on in that dressing room than we do. World Baseball Classic? Really? I think I saw once that it was even, is it going on? Oh, it hasn't? Go Canada? Okay, that's my thoughts on the World Baseball Classic. Go Canada! Ernie Witt coaching us. I've had friends that have played in it, but that's all that I know. And listen, I'm a fan, no expert. Are you seeing all the stuff that Stephen A. Smith is getting into? All the trouble he's getting into from ESPN. Did you see that, Clark? I'm sorry, I should have brought Clark on here. Did you see all the trouble, Stephen? And if you haven't, that's fine. He said he doesn't care about hockey. So he doesn't care about the NHL. What did he say? He goes, the only two things I know about the NHL are the puck is black and I like Gary Bettman. Now, I actually stopped watching at that point, but I think he went on to say ESPN doesn't care about hockey or he doesn't care about hockey. So that's Stephen A. That's fine. They don't even talk about baseball. That's ESPN. I'm not going to talk about baseball. I'll read you the scores. That's not me complaining, but I got my hands full staying on top of this NHL stuff. Obviously, NFL, CFL, and all the rest. I don't have a take on the World Baseball Classic. But I did watch the Leafs the other night, and let's be honest. The Oilers did skate circles around them. Darren didn't want to get into that as a Leafs fan yesterday, Moose, when he was on. But your original question, did they make too many trades? In the middle of all of this, must have been Wednesday, I put it on Twitter. Too many moves by the Leafs. That can happen. In my play-by-play days, I've been with teams that have made 1 million trades just for the sake of making trades. And it screwed everything up. Look at that. And I just unplugged my headphone. I'm ready for Friday. Did I tell you that? I'm ready for this week to be over. Not that it's been a fantastic week, by the way. I just like having weekends off. Somebody should have told me about this my whole life. Sean is watching in Vancouver regarding the RP show owning the 55-plus age demographic across Canada. Sean in Vancouver, BC says, Freedom 55, baby. I remember when I thought 55 was old. It ain't. Sports update on the ice tonight. The Winnipeg Jets carry a 4-game losing streak into Edmonton. The Oilers are coming off that impressive 5-2 win over the Leafs Wednesday. Have we talked about that enough for you? Also, Montreal visits L.A. Brad Gushue set to begin his Brier defense at the Brier in London today. His Newfoundland rink takes on Jacques Gauthier of BC. World number 1, John Rahm, leads the pack at 7 under as the second round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational gets underway at Bay Hill Golf Course in Florida. The Spaniard started the day 2 shots clear of Americans Chris Kirk, Cameron Young, and Kurt Kitayama. Yes, I was talking with one of my Army buddies today, Murray. He said, oh, that's the retirement capital you're in. I said, in Florida, and the golf capital, and the fitness capital, and the fishing capital, and the recovery capital. I would say y'all should try it out, but I'll say, no, don't. Just take my word for it. Sports update is for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Last minute of play on the RP show. Playing now at Landmark Cinemas in the film which officially kicks off Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, superhero partners Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne return to continue their adventures as Ant-Man and the Wasp, starring Paul Rudd and Hope Van Dyne in Landmark Cinemas now. Well, we're out of time, and it's been great. Wonderful work, Clark, pulling this all together. A big thank you to the television voice of the Colorado Avalanche, Marc Moser, our NHL analyst, Rich Sutter, the best in the business, BC Lions defensive end, Shawn Lemon, the Moose way back in hour 1 for joining us from the Canada Winter Games. Enjoy the sports this weekend, everybody. Please be safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you Monday right back here on the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and the Key.
Who has more fun than us?
I like it, LFG. Let's go. Hot damn hot. Bob's your uncle. Done deal. Hell yes. Beautiful. I like it. Right on. Spicy. That's hot.